You, Assemblywoman. Assemblyman Weber.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in opposition to the bill, both on the substance of the bill and the procedural posture that brings us here. On the substance, it's been discussed, and I don't want to repeat too many of the points, but let's be clear. Governor Christie's budget prioritizes the defense of our seniors. It continues funding for the senior freeze in the property tax program. Continues funding for prescription drug subsidies for the aged. Above all, this budget finally has us living within our means. And what I hear from our senior population in our district is, whatever you do, just live within your means. Don't spend money you don't have. That's what they're asking us to do, and that's what the governor's budget does. Now, increasing rebates to our constituents is something I think we'd all like to do. Unfortunately, this year, it's something that we don't have the ability to do. This budget deficit is real, it is massive, and it is not of our making or the governor's making. It is the product of years of fiscal recklessness, tax and spend and borrow policies that the majority party has followed in the last decade. Maybe we wouldn't have so many grandparents who had to go visit their grandkids out of state if we had been a little more fiscally prudent in the last decade. But so eager is the majority party to score partisan political points in a game that they're losing, so eager are they to pander to certain constituencies that they've now turned themselves into political pretzels to get this bill on the floor today, May 20th. My English teacher, former English teacher, was up here in the well earlier as a St. Joe's grad. Barry Donnelly did a good job teaching me English. But I don't even think the existentialists that I learned about in high school could explain how a legislature could amend a bill that hasn't even been written. This is truly absurd, but you need to score some points, so let's go pass an amendment to a bill that doesn't yet exist. I don't understand that. Maybe somebody can explain it to me later. There's a bigger point, Madam Speaker, that I think the body needs to address. And in my first term in this legislature, I heard a lot of chest thumping and not illegitimate chest thumping from the Speaker of this body and the majority party about new transparent policies about the way in which this state was going to spend money and the budget process here in New Jersey. Remember, for too long, we had legislators slide in certain appropriations and line items and budgets in the dark of night, before anybody could see them, before the public could even know about them. And this body rightfully took steps to shine a light on that process and to make it more transparent. I think everyone in the chamber was supportive of those measures. And to that end, Madam Speaker, you sent a letter out yesterday to the members urging us, per the joint rules of the Senate and General Assembly, members of the legislature and the governor must submit resolutions for any recommended changes to the governor's proposal to the chairman of the respective budget committees. Resolutions must be submitted at least 14 days prior to floor consideration of the budget bill in either house of the legislature. In order to provide ample time to review and analyze budget change proposals, the Senate President and I have set June 4th, 2010 as the deadline for submission of budget resolutions. As has been the case in prior years, the Office of Legislative Services will be sending each of you a database that is to be used for entering your resolutions. Please be mindful of the deadline and promptly submit your proposed changes. And Madam Speaker, you rightfully referenced the joint rules of the Senate and the Assembly.
Assemblyman Cryan.
My colleague would stay on the bill, please.
Yes, on the bill, please.
Madam Speaker, this is about the bill. The bill is not properly before this legislature, and I'm pointing out why. Joint Rule 42A states the chair of the Senate Budget and Appropriations Committee and the chair of the Assembly Budget Committee shall, during their respective committee deliberations on the subject of the governor's budget recommendations.
Excuse me, Assemblyman Weber, but you're not on the bill. You are reading the rules of the House as it relates to the submission of budget resolutions. We are having debate on Assembly Bill 20.
Then why don't we do it this way, Madam Speaker? I make a point of order that this bill is out of order because it has not complied with the joint rules of the Assembly and Senate.
Are you making a motion, Assemblyman
I'm
Weber?
asking for the ruling from the chair.
Yes, Assemblyman DeCroche? Minority Leader, may I confer with you?
Yes.
And Assemblyman Weber.